Hi, this is Holly at the Potomac Bead Company. Today I'm going to show you how to make a Tree of Life pendant. For this project, what we're going to need is some gemstone chips. You're going to need, totally up to you, but you can use 4mm or 3mm rounds or bicones. You can see that we have some bicones over here. And then optional also is 8/0 or 11/0 seed beads. For our wire, what we're going to need, for our base, we're going to be using a 20 gauge wire. And for our branches, we're going to be using a 24 gauge wire. So to get started, what we're going to do is cut a length of our 20 gauge wire about 6 to 8 inches long. You want to do your best to kind of straighten that out with your fingers. If you need nylon jaw pliers, you can use those as well. So once you have that cut, and you've kind of straightened it out a little bit, what you're going to do is work at making that bail. To do that, what we're going to do is come in with our flat nose pliers. We're going to make a 90-degree bend, just like that. And then with round nose pliers, we're going to come in and make a large loop. Just fold that over the top. And then push that away from you. If you need any other assistance on making loops, check out our other YouTube videos. From here, what we're going to do is we're going to hold on to that loop and just wrap this wire around there once or twice, really close together, and then we're going to trim that little tail. Just like that. From here, what we're going to do is we're just going to stand this up. So we're going to make a little bend for our bail so we can form our circle around that. Now you can use a mandrel or some other form of tool to make your circle if you'd like. I'm just going to use my fingers and just kind of roll around and try to shape it into a circle. You can make these as big or as small as you like. And once you get it the whole way around, then you're going to take that little piece of tail and wrap that around the bail again. If you need to use your tools, you can do that. Just like that. And then you can go back in with your pliers and squeeze those little parts together. You're going to trim off that little tail and kind of pinch that in. Okay? So once you have that done, it's looking pretty wonky right now, but you're going to make your circle with your bail. So at this point, if you'd like, you can take a bench block and a hammer, and you can hammer the base of your pendant. And what that's going to do is help flatten it a little bit, but also strengthen it and stiffen it so it'll be a little bit more sturdy for you. What we're going to do now is take our 24 gauge wire, and as you can see with this one, we have 6 branches on our tree. You're going to want to cut as many pieces of 24 gauge wire as you want branches. So I'm going to do a rather full tree. Obviously, the more branches you have, the fuller your tree is going to be. So I'm doing 8 branches with mine. Feel free to try out all different ways to do this, however many you'd like to do. And it's interesting to see how the differences are. So what we're going to do is just take the wires all together and we're just going to twist them like this, right in the center. Okay? And you're going to leave a longer part here at the top because this is where we're going to be putting our gemstone chips and our crystals, and then these are going to be the roots down here. So what you're going to do from here is just kind of separate these out and twist these together to make like the gnarly root looking type thing. And do 2 here and 2 here, and just like that. You want to make sure that you leave enough to twist your roots onto your base, and we'll just do those as single ones. Why not? We'll just do it. Okay, so there you go. Alright, And then from here, what you're going to do is take these little tails that are left, and you're going to go ahead and start winding those around the base, trying to keep those wires very close and very tight. If you need to come back in with pliers and kind of pinch those together, you can. But you can do that. And you're just going to go around and do this with all of the branches. With all the roots. What's important to know is that right now you don't want to pinch those down and secure them to the base. We want to be able to have a little bit of movement, so if we need to adjust our branches when the time comes, we can do that. So we're just going to keep going around and adding our roots to our base. Just like that, wrapping really, really tight and very close together. Try not to misshape your base if you can. Just like that. And once you get those all wrapped on there 3 to 4 times, you can go ahead and trim off that little piece, and you'll be ready to move on to the next part. So I have all of the roots wrapped around the base of the pendant, and I went ahead and cut the little tails off of that and pinched down so they're not sticking out, the little cut edges. And you can see that the trunk of my tree goes up to about the center of my pendant. And what we're going to do from here is very similar to how we did with the roots. We're going to start breaking off our branches and twisting those together just slightly before we start adding on our chips and things. So you can do like groups of 2, you can do groups of 3, you can do singles, whatever you'd like to do. And just go around all of the branches and do that if you'd like. Do one more here in the center. Pull this guy down here so you can get in close. You want to try to twist those as closely to the trunk as you can. Like that. Okay. And then from here, what you're going to do is you're going to start incorporating randomly your gemstones. I'm using some abalone chips today, along with some Swarovski crystals. You could also incorporate some 4mm beads. I have some freshwater pearls here that are going to look pretty with the abalone, or seed beads. You can add some 11/0 or 8/0 seed beads, so it's totally up to you. But you're just going to fill up your branches until it just reaches the base of your pendant. And then once it gets to the base of the pendant, you're going to go ahead and wrap that around the outside edge. So I'll go through and I'll do another branch here. And this is totally random, however you would like to do it. No rhyme or reason. Get some crystals in there. Anybody that knows me here at the Potomac Bead Company knows that I absolutely love Swarovski crystals. Just like that. So it got me out to about the edge. And the great thing with wire is if something's in your way, you can just move it out of the way till later. Alright. And then the same way that we did with the roots, we're going to wrap this 3 or 4 times around the base and trying to get those as tight as we can and as close together as we can. We're going to continue doing this with all of our branches just to fill it in, and eventually you'll have something like this. I will tell you that there are different versions of doing this. Everybody's a little bit different. Everybody likes it a little bit different, but use your imagination, your creativity, see what you can come up with. But this is the Tree of Life pendant. This is Holly at the Potomac Bead Company. Thanks for watching.